Hello, Miss Jones here. I'm at school, so I have to have my mask on because I have to have it on all the time. But I'm going to be recording a read aloud for you called Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. Now, we're not just going to do a read aloud, we're going to do an interactive read aloud. So that means go and find your whiteboard and your dry erase marker. I sent home with everybody. Or if you can't find those, you can also get a piece of paper and a pencil. If you can find this, everyone should have this, then get this. I'm going to be reading the book to you, and while I'm reading, I'm going to ask you to draw and write things on your whiteboard to help you imagine and think about what we're reading. Everything you draw can go on one board. You don't have to keep erasing and draw again, erase and draw again. It can all go in one spot. And I'm going to be drawing along with you for some of them to give you an idea. Remember, these drawings aren't supposed to be perfect or great. They're just doodles for fun. Let's get started. Lily's Purple Plastic Purse. Lily loved school. She loved the pointy pencils, she loved the squeaky chalk, and she loved the way her boots went clickety-clickety-click down the long, shiny hallways. Lily loved the privacy of her very own desk. She loved the fish sticks and chocolate milk every Friday in the lunchroom, and most of all, she loved her teacher, Mr. Slinger. Lily's at school, and her school is just in the regular school building. But where are you right now? I know you're not at school, but you're doing school at home, right? So take your whiteboard and start drawing, where am I right now? Well, I, Miss Jones, am sitting at my desk at school. So I'm just going to start over here and draw a little desk and a chair. And I have a window back here. And just some little doodles. Doesn't have to be perfect or great. Obviously, this is not great. And then let's keep going. You can draw as you're listening too. Mr. Slinger was a sharp tack. He wore artistic shirts. He wore glasses on a chain around his neck. And he wore a different colored tie for each day of the week. Wow, said Lily. That was just about all she could say. Wow. Let's write the word wow on our boards. Wow. W-O-W. Wow. That's all that Lily could say. Instead of greeting students or good morning pupils, Mr. Slinger winked and said, howdy. He thought that desks and rows were old-fashioned and boring. Do you rodents think you can handle a semicircle? And he always provided the most tasty snacks, things that were curly and crunchy and cheesy. I want to be a teacher when I grow up, said Lily. Me too, said her friends, Chester and Wilson and Victor. Where's her friends? At home, Lily pretended to be Mr. Slinger. I am the teacher, she told her baby brother Julius. Listen up! Lily even wanted her own set of deluxe picture encyclopedias. What's with Lily? Asked her mother. I thought she wanted to be a surgeon or an ambulance driver or a diva, said her father. It must be because of her new teacher, Mr. Slinger, said her mother. Wow, said her father. That was just about all he could say. Wow. Just like Lily. Whenever the students had free time, they were permitted to go to the light bulb lab in the back of the classroom. They expressed their ideas creatively through drawing and writing. Lily went often. She had lots of ideas. She drew pictures of Mr. Slinger, and she wrote stories about him too. During sharing time, Lily showed her creations to the entire class. Wow, said Mr. Slinger, that was just about all he could say. Wow. And at the very last second, Mr. Slinger saved the cold, starving, elderly She started telling her story. When Mr. Slinger had bus duty, Lily stood in line, even though she didn't ride the bus. Lily raised her hand more than anyone else in class, even if she didn't know the answer, and she volunteered to stay after school to slap erasers. I want to be a teacher when I grow up, said Lily. Excellent choice, said Mr. Slinger. What do you want to be when you grow up? Draw or write what you want to be when you grow up on your whiteboard. One Monday morning, Lily came to school especially happy. She had gone shopping with her granny over the weekend. Lily had a new pair of movie star sunglasses, complete with glittery diamonds and a chain like Mr. Slinger's. And she had 3 shiny quarters. And best of all, she had a brand new purple plastic purse that played a jaunty tune when it was opened. What do you think it sounded like? Maybe something like that. Lily wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. Listen to our story. Lily had a hard time listening. Lily really wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. Let's be considerate of our classmates. Lily had a hard time being considerate. Lily really wanted to show everyone. Not now, said Mr. Slinger. Wait until recess or sharing time. But Lily could not wait. The glasses were so glittery, the quarters were so shiny, and the purse played such nice music, not to mention how excellent it was for storing school supplies. Look, Lily whispered fiercely. Look, everyone, look what I've got. Everyone looked, including Mr. Slinger. He was not amused. I'll just keep your things at my desk until the end of the day, said Mr. Slinger. They'll be safe there, and then you can take them home. Lily's stomach lurched. She felt like crying. Draw a picture of what you would feel like if you got your new purse or toy or whatever it is taken away. I would not be happy. I'd probably be crying. Her purple plastic purse was gone, her glasses, her quarters. Lily longed for her purse all morning. She was even too sad to eat the snack Mr. Slinger served before recess. That afternoon, Lily went to the light bulb lab. She was still very sad. She thought and she thought and she thought, and then she became angry. She thought and she thought some more. And then she became furious. She thought and she thought and she thought and she thought a bit longer, and she drew a picture of Mr. Slinger. Big, fat, mean Mr. Stealing Teacher. Right before the last bell rang, Lily sneaked the drawing into Mr. Slinger's book bag. Oh no! How do you think Mr. Slinger will be feeling when he finds that mean picture? When all the students were buttoned and zipped and snapped and tied and ready to go home, Mr. Slinger strolled over to Lily and gave her purple plastic purse back. It's a beautiful purse, said Mr. Slinger. Your quarters are nice and jingly, and those glasses are absolutely fabulous. You may bring them back to school as long as you don't disturb the rest of the class. I don't want to be a teacher when I grow up, Lily said as she marched out of the classroom. On the way home, Lily opened her purse. Her glasses and her quarters were inside, and so was a note from Mr. Slinger. It said, "Today was a difficult day. Tomorrow will be better." There was also a small bag of tasty snacks at the bottom of her purse. Draw a picture of all the things that are in Lily's plastic purse. Glasses, quarters, a note, and a bag of snacks. Lily's stomach lurched. She felt like crying. She felt simply awful. Lily ran all the way home and told her mother and father everything. Instead of watching her favorite cartoons, Lily decided to sit in the uncooperative chair. She gave herself a timeout. I'll stay here 1,000,000 years for Mr. Slinger. Why does everything always happen to me? 1,051, 1,052, 1,099. That night, Lily drew a new picture of Mr. Slinger and wrote a story about him, too. Lily was really, really sorry, so everyone forgave her, even her parents, even her stinky baby brother, even her especially incredible teacher. And then the sun shined its smiley face down on everyone and everything, even the bugs and worms. The end. Listen up. I forgive everyone. I'm an author. An author is someone who writes a story. Remember that from our writing. How could he resist my no-frills cheese balls? Lily's mother wrote a note, and Lily's father baked some tasty snacks for Lily to take to school the next day. I think Mr. Slinger will understand, said Lily's mother. I know he will, said Lily's father. The next morning, Lily got to school early. These are for you, Lily said to Mr. Slinger, because I'm really sorry. Mr. Slinger read the story, and he looked at the picture, and he read the note. What does it say? And he sampled the snacks. Wow, said Mr. Slinger. That was just about all he could say. Wow. What do you think we should do with this? Asked Mr. Slinger. Could we just throw it away? Asked Lily. He's talking about the mean picture. Excellent idea, said Mr. Slinger. I'm just having an extra pocket with a radio inside. These quarters are even better than a dollar bill because they make noise. Glamorous protection from harmful rays. She's getting out all her stuff. During sharing time, Lily demonstrated the many uses and unique qualities of her purple plastic purse, her shiny quarters, and her glittery movie star glasses. And she did a little performance using them as props. It's called interpretive dance, said Lily. Mr. Slinger joined in. Wow, said the entire class. That's just about all they could say. Wow. Throughout the rest of the day, Lily's purse and quarters and sunglasses were tucked safely inside her desk. She peeked at them often, but did not disturb a soul. Right before the last bell rang, Mr. Slinger served Lily's snacks to everyone's delight. What do you want to be when you grow up? Asked Mr. Slinger. A teacher, everyone responded. Lily's response was the loudest. Excellent choice, said Mr. Slinger. They all want to be a teacher. As the pupils filed out of the classroom, Lily held her plastic purse close to her heart. Mr. Slinger was right. It had been a better day. Lily ran and skipped and hopped and flew all the way home, and she was so happy. She really did want to be a teacher when she grew up. That is, when she didn't want to be a dancer or a surgeon or an ambulance driver or a diva or a pilot or a hairdresser or a scuba diver. She wanted to be all the things. Well, Lily's purple plastic purse was so special to her and it got her a little bit in trouble. But I want you to draw a picture of something that's special to you on your whiteboard. Something that's really important that you always want to have with you, or a special toy, or special shoes, or anything that's special to you, and draw a picture. When you're done, you can take a picture of all the things on your whiteboard and put it into the slides so I can see all the things you drew for Interactive Read Aloud. Bye, friends!